Carboxylic acid is another group of organic compound whose functional group is carboxyl this time. Okay, carboxyl has a carbonyl and at the same time has a hydroxyl. So ito yung carbonyl, at the same time may hydroxyl siya. Collectively known as carboxyl. Okay, so the general formula for carboxylic acids are RCOOH. That's COOH when expanded. Yan. C double bond OOH. Or an aryl group ArCOOH. Okay. Oxidation of primary alcohol and aldehydes using oxidation agent will give carboxylic acid. So primary alcohol will now become aldehyde, and that aldehyde will be further oxidized to become carboxylic acid. So that's how you produce carboxylic acids. Okay, examples of carboxylic acid is methanoic acid. It has only one carbon atom, so wala siyang R, rather H lang. Methanoic, meth stands for one carbon atom. Ethanoic, it has two carbon atom, so ethanoic acid. Benzoic acid, so functional group nila tong COOH. Para-nitro benzoic acid and 2-bromo-propanoic acid. We have two nomenclatures for carboxylic acids. We have Iupac and common name. For Iupac naming system, for monocarboxylic acid, mono means there's only one carbonyl group present. Okay, so you have to select the parent chain. As always, parent chain is the longest carbon chain that includes the carbon atom in the carboxyl group. You have to name the parent chain by having the alkane name, but this time you have to drop the E and add OIC acid. And since we are referring this as a group of carboxylic acid, the functional group, carboxyl group, will always be assigned as carbon number 1. And then the numbering system will follow so that you're going to come up with the lowest number for any other substituents. Pero carbon number 1 pa rin yung carboxyl group. Okay, so these are the first 4 simplest carboxylic acid. So we have methanoic acid. We have 1 carbon atom. Okay. Ethanoic acid has 2 carbon atoms. Propanoic has 3 carbon atoms. And butanoic acid will have 4 carbon atoms. No need for you to number the position of the carboxyl group because it's always at carbon number 1. Okay. Paano naman kapag may mga ibang substituents? So, the parent chain should include the carboxyl group, and there are 4 carbon atoms, so therefore that is butane supposed to be, because there are 4 carbon with single bond butane, but we are dropping the E because of the carboxyl group, and add OIC acid, so therefore that is butanoic acid. Since carbon number 1 is designated at the carboxyl group, we're going to number this from right to left, such as this is number 2 and number 3. Naming system will still follow. You have to arrange the name of this substituents alphabetically. So, ano bang hindi na isama sa butanoic acid na pangalan? Ito, carbon atom and a halogen. So, this substituent has 2 carbon atoms, so therefore that is ethyl. It is attached on carbon number 2 of the parent chain, so we have 2-ethyl. And this is bromine, that would be named as bromo, being attached on the 3rd carbon atom of the parent chain, so that is 3-bromo. You have to arrange alphabetically the substituents, so that is 3-bromo, 2-ethyl butanoic acid. Still, dashes applies to separate word from a number. So the whole structure will be named as, this structure will be named as 3-bromo-2-ethyl butanoic acid. Okay, next would be, so you have to select the parent chain. It has 3 carbon atoms, so that is propanoic acid. What is not included in the propanoic acid is this part and that part. The identity are the same. They are methyl group. There are 2 same methyl, so therefore we are using the di. Numbering it, carbon number 1 will be for carboxyl, so therefore this is carbon number 2. They are both on carbon number 2, so we are going to use 2,2-dimethyl propanoic acid. Still, comma are used to separate number from a number, and dashes are used to separate number from a word. There should be no space in between the name of the last name of the substituent and the name of the parent chain. However, there should be a space between the entire name and the word acid. Okay? And then next would be, we are not choosing this as a parent chain because there are only 4 carbon atoms. But as a rule, we have to choose it to be the longest continuous chain. Pwedeng nag-bend, basta continuous. And here we have 5 carbon atoms, so therefore that is pentanoic acid. Ang hindi na isama sa pentanoic acid ay ito, and that has 2 carbon atoms, so that is ethyl, and it is attached on carbon number 2 with the reference of carboxyl group as number 1. So therefore that is 2-ethyl pentanoic acid. Common names are also frequent for carboxylic acid, but only for simple carboxylic acids. Okay, so we are using this for still monocarboxylic acid. So we have formic acid, from the Latin name formica, which means ant, because formic acid is the stinging sensation associated with red ants bite. Okay, acetic acid, from the Latin word acetum, which means sour. Acetic acid gives the vinegar its tartness or the sour taste. Propionic acid. Propionic acid, from the Greek word protos, which means first, and pion, which means fat, because this is the smallest acid that could be obtained from fats. Next, we have butyric acid. All rancid butter contains butyric acid, so this one causes the rancidity of all butter. Okay, so the butyrum, the Latin name is butyrum, which is butter. Valeric acid is found in valerian roots. This is an herb. It has a strong odor. The Latin name came from Valerie, Valerie or Valere, which means to be strong. And caproic acid, this is the skin secretions of goats. So, ito rin yung nagko-contribute sa mga odor ng mga animals, specifically for goats. And the name came from the Latin word copper, which means goat. Capre.